sure we are live. We are live. I am so excited. Wonderful. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Hurricane Watchroom is here through our latest update on the tropics and the off-season hurricane outlook and discussion. We talk about the United States winter weather and any what we're going to be coming up for the next several days. South Texas just had a winter storm. Eastern United States just had a winter storm. And now we're also going to be talking about the storms approaching Mozambique. The storm approaching Mozambique and the storms that are developing behind it. Right now, this is what we got. Tropical Cyclone 7 right here. As you can see, winds right there at about 35 knots. Gusts not applicable. Air pressure of 1,000 millibars. Remember, the lower that air pressure is, the stronger the storm. Some of the most powerful storms have had an air pressure below 900 millibars. The average air pressure at sea level being 1,013.25 millibars. So 1,000 millibars really isn't that strong at all, as you can see right there. But right now, lots of heavy rain. You can clearly see in this area of the storm, there's lots of convection, there's lots of energy, there's lots of rising motion in the atmosphere, which tells me that there's a lot of energy in the storm, and it could possibly become a pretty moderately to a strong tropical storm. I'm thinking winds 50, 55 miles per hour, possibly 60, depends on how fast this intensifies, how fast this rapidly intensifies, and if we see any kind of rapid intensification, then there's a possibility this could hit a moderate to a strong tropical storm. Now, regardless of the intensity of the tropical cyclone, the biggest threat from this system is going to be heavy rain and flooding. Storm surge won't be a big issue because it won't be traveling a very long distance over water. It'll only be traveling from where it is right now, right here, right there. It's not going to be traveling very far. However, there is a good amount of convection. Again, that is the latest satellite imagery at 000000 universal time. As you can clearly see the core of the storm right here. You can see this outflow here. Those bands are already making it towards land in northern Mozambique. Lots of heavy rain in these outer bands. Lots of flooding, as you can see, even convection flaring up right there, right off the coast of Mozambique. So certainly flooding is a huge issue right now in northern Mozambique from the tropical system. I'm going to pull up some live satellite imagery. Don't think we have any. Really, when I mean by live, I mean, good satellite imagery. What do we got going on here? So I'm going to pull it up right now. Can this actually work correctly? All the way down here. Perfect. There it is. It's not very quick. I don't like how slow this is. Maybe it's loading. So as you clearly see, there's lots of convection right here near the center of circulation right here. Lots of outflow. Look at this convection down here. Moving on to land, as you can see. You can see in the top right-hand corner, way up here, you can actually see the air pressure where it actually was 1,002, 1,000, dipped down to 996 millibars. You can kind of see 35 knots, as you can see. So it's been staying steadily at about 40 miles per hour. Right now it's about 1,000 millibars right now. So the air pressure is staying steady, 1,002, 1,000 millibars roughly. But lots of convection, lots of explosive energy happening in the storm right now, which is telling me there's it's trying to get its act together. And I do think this could ramp up relatively quickly prior to its landfall in Mozambique here in the next few days. So that's what we're looking at there. So this gives us something an idea. So down here you can kind of see the winds. Actually peaked at 35. And this is in knots. And pressure, minimum pressure. Kind of see where that air pressure is at. evidently can clearly see there's plenty of convection going on here. Huge amounts of explosive convection. Really shows me there's a sign that there's lots of rising motion. The atmosphere is very unstable right now, and there is going to be a lot of flooding. Storm surge won't be a big issue, because with storm surge, you need a storm that's powerful, and it goes over a huge distance. Perfect idea that comes to mind is either Hurricane Katrina, even Hurricane Irma, Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Ike. Went over a huge amount of water, even though it became absolutely a massive storm. Hurricane, was it Sally? No, Sandy. I don't know. Sally's from 2020. Hurricane Sandy from 2012. Huge storm surge. And obviously Typhoon Haiyan in 2013, known as Typhoon Yolanda, I believe, there in 2013, November of 2013, when it smashed into the Philippines near, can't exactly think of the city right off the top of my head, but really bringing huge amounts of wind, 196 miles per hour, gusts reaching easily 230, 235 miles per hour. And the storm surge came almost as a tsunami. It was a huge wave, literally destroying buildings. The wave was so big and so powerful, it literally wiped buildings away. It was very similar to a tsunami. But that's something I am generally kind of worried about with that system. Is going to be the flooding. So this kind of gives us an idea right here. Convection, rising motion in the atmosphere. So this gives us an idea. Look at these explosive thunderstorms, ladies and gentlemen. These are very, very explosive right there. So that's what I'm seeing right now. Huge explosive system right here. You can clearly see that. And even this northern outer band developing up here. Going to really, as this moves forward and inland, it's really going to bring all this heavy rain and flooding with it. Now winds, again, 50 to 55 knots. I'm saying 45 to 50 knots. Just 50 to 55 miles per hour. Right? Yeah, 45 to 50 knots. 50 to 55. Yeah, I had a lot of, I forgot for a second. 50 to 55. 50 to 55 miles per hour. Gusts 60 to 65 miles an hour. So yes, there'll be pretty strong winds, and at times of strong gusts here and there will certainly be occurring. Flooding is going to be a huge issue. Clearly see where the rotation is. Dry air might be getting in the southern area. Right down here could be some dry air trying to get in, but I don't think it's going to be successful, because you can clearly see this convection developing right. You can kind of see that convection developing right there, right where that dry air is. I really don't think the dry air is going to bring it down at all, or much, if at all, in the first place. The biggest issue with this system is definitely going to be the flooding, and this is a very poor country, so the winds are going to be a bigger issue. This was making landfall in the United States. A 50 to 55 mile per hour tropical storm would not be a big issue at all, but given that this is making landfall in such a poor country, it's going to be a little bit bigger issue for them, for sure. So I kind of want to show you this on the modeling. You have an idea of where this is in the world. This is in the South Indian Ocean. Right there between Madagascar and Mozambique. There's these other systems I want you to keep an eye on too. I'm watching these systems and I am a little bit concerned. Personally, I'm still trying to understand them. Some of them are showing very, very far over 250, 300, 350, 384 plus hours out. And that's something I don't want to even look that far. Because it never comes true. Anything 150 hours out or more really is a little very iffy. Even 72 hours out, remember with Hurricane Laura, they were still showing hurricane making landfall near either Bolivar Peninsula or Galveston Island here in southeast Texas. And where did it make landfall? Cameron, Louisiana. That was in August 25th? No, 26th, 27th of 2020. So as you can clearly see, this does get, I do think, so they're actually showing this making landfall roughly 988 millibars. There's actually a really strong tropical storm here in the United States. That's easily a 70, even because I believe Hurricane Nicholas had 980, was it 981? No way. No, it was 981. It's my fault. Hold up. I stepped on the green screen and I messed up my stream. 987. I can't actually remember the air pressure per hurricane necklace, but it was a hurricane, and it was below 990 millibars. So this right here telling me right here, pointing to my screen, telling me this right here could possibly dealing with a much stronger tropical system than they're actually showing. Something I'm a little bit concerned about, releasing those back convection balloon blowing up. Very disturbing. And then you have this, which now that's gonna look incredible in satellite if this comes true. I am showing this does show it to be on a weakening trend as it gets closer towards the southern island of Madagascar, which is a good thing. But still, they're still showing this is 979. Actually strengthening 973, 950, 973 millibars upon landfall. Now again, given that this is, what are we saying this at? This is February 4th, 2022, so this is incredibly long time from now. But I've been watching this, it's been showing this for quite a while now, and I am worried that as this gets closer, you know, this has been showing for a long time, which means the global forecasting system is generally very confident that this is actually going to develop into something that we need to be more concerned about. That could be very devastating. Now, if it survives over the mountainous terrains over Madagascar, then we have to worry about it making it into the Mozambique Channel and bringing some heavy rain. If it... I don't know where I went. So there's that. And then there's another system. Obviously, right behind it, right there. So this is one of those times where you got to continuously watch the South Indian Ocean. There's a 953 millibars. I'm going to choose the latest one right here. 18Z, wonderful. CMC, I don't think is very accurate in predicting these systems, but I do want to take a look and see what the CMC is actually showing here. So as you can see, the CMC is showing something much weaker, about a 995 millibar tropical system making landfall. That would be more ideal with a tropical system with a much weaker system, probably 45, 50 miles per hour, roughly 50 to 55 miles an hour. We're going to have to watch, and it also shows another tropical system developing behind it. That's going to have to be something we have to watch carefully also. Possibly a Fujiwara effect. I mean, also looking at stuff affecting Australia here. So, I mean, the entire southern hemisphere is always hurricane, tropical cyclone season somewhere. If it's not in the northern hemisphere, it's in the southern hemisphere. And believe it or not, typhoon season never ends in the western Pacific. There's always systems going in the western Pacific because it's so warm. It's so big. There's really nothing limiting it from really just... Not a lot of stuff limiting it except for air temperatures and sea surface temperatures. Really not a lot of sheer dry air. Really not a big issue there in the Western Pacific. But something I am concerned about is the systems behind 07S. Now I do want to look at not South Australia, but just Australia in general. They have been known to get pretty powerful tropical cyclones. They can get dangerous and pretty ugly. 2017, no, it was March 2018 when it was Category 5 Marcus off the well away from Australia. It had winds peaking at 175 miles an hour, but it was well off the west coast of Australia. But it was still very powerful. Very interesting and fascinating to even see that. But at this point, it's just so far out. Seeing that's very heavily sheared from the northwest. Right there, I think that'd be a heavily sheared system. Very large, I do see. Isobars are very close together, so there's a tight wind gradient. Tight wind gradient there. Look how tight that is. Look how tight the wind gradient is right here. A very tight wind gradient. Even a system well over here. So you got winds coming in like this, pushing that off. And it tells me there could be a shear environment here in the future. Let's take a look at the United States. I like to make these streams quick and simple so I don't bore y'all all day. I don't know who this is. I thought Australia was in the Caribbean subline. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. I'm going to go back and talk a little bit about United States winter weather. Just talk about this a lot, alright? So, watching an upper level low develop, kind of talk about weather, winter weather generally, you can kind of see. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see, we got ridging here, troughing in this area. Actually, I need to pull this up. You got troughing here, ridging here. Could be some cold air being pulled in from northern Canada there, which is bringing much lower temperatures. This is going to stay to the south. Should go out off the east coast, or well away from the east coast. Actually gets sheared completely apart. That's what we're currently seeing right now. Ridging up here, troughing here, pulling in that colder air to the south. Cold front comes in through, does appear to bring colder temperatures to the south central United States, but you can really clearly see that's actually really tight. Kind of notice it's a more of like this, so it's a positively tilted. If it was a negatively tilted, there would be more convection, more rising motion in the atmosphere, and you could possibly see lightning in that. If there was any snow, that's how you would know if there was negatively tilted. It's possible you could see some thunder snow. I literally do not even know who this person is. I don't remember who you are. My memory's gotten really bad. I don't know what's going on. That's what I'm looking at right now. Seeing that. Oh, I need to put snow on. No wonder I'm confused. I'm like, where's the snow at? I'm confused. How is it not snow in Canada? I swear. Idiots. No, not radar. Just MSLP. Mean sea level pressure and radar. Let's go back. So again, clearly you have that. This gives us a better idea. So this just kind of shows us where you could have snow. Snow coming in through Texas again. My lord. So that's a big cold front. You can clearly see the upper level low way up here. Pulling in that cold air. Look how deep that is. You can clearly see the troughing pulls right down from northwest Canada, where some of the coldest air temperatures are negative 20, negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Really pulls in that cold air, pulls it right down to the south central United States, and really brings this cold air. It's Martin. Oh. I was like, who is this kid? That's what I'm looking at right now. Seeing that, kind of really looking at the current air pressure readings. The current patterns in the atmosphere really indicate ridging and troughing, troughing in the east, ridging in the west. High pressure, beautiful temperatures and beautiful skies in the west, more snowy and stormy weather in the east. As you can clearly see, the snowstorm right here, I think it's created by this upper level low right here, which is kind of pulling in this moisture right here. Doesn't appear to be any kind of, it does look like a little bit of, I can't be thinking the right word, lake effect snow developing there. Very, very interesting to see that. Even though there's high pressure there, there's still a little bit of lake effect snow. Get that warm lake rising, automatically hitting that cold air mass, condensing, and it condenses so quickly it actually creates snow relatively low to the ground. It doesn't go up thousands of feet. The clouds don't go up 30, 40,000 feet up. They stay relatively low, a couple thousand feet above the ground for these systems. But I am noticing possibly some lake effect snow in this portion of the United States, obviously where the lakes are. That would be really cool to see on radar. Cool. Nice. So that's what I'm seeing right now. Not really super concerned about huge travel conditions here in the next, Wow. But definitely along the south central United States. Really interested to see how this cold front plays out. Very, very excited. Huge, massive upper level low in the mid latitudes of the atmosphere. Looks like that's what? 989. It's like covered up. I'm saying 993. I don't even know. But definitely huge upper level low. Huge cold boundary, frontal boundary right through here. Bringing that cold air right behind it. That would be very, very cool to see. That's what I think could happen. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns? I can actually pull up the chat. And if not, I'm going to end the stream off here. And with all that being said, that's me for today, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'm going to be trying to do more streams later on, so have a wonderful rest of your evening. And with all that being said, peace out.